Welcome back to Cape Critiquers. Today we are talking about Chronicle from 2012. Another one on the Jack's movie bag pick.
I did like the characters, like their interactions with each other, but I do feel like it was a little bit like obvious that they tried to like characterize them like so strongly, because like you had the philosophical one, you had the political one, and you had the depressed weirdo one, you know?
Yeah.
And that is especially evident in the scene in the diner where like they're all talking to each other.
I agree, though. The interaction with them in this movie was pretty good. It's just weird how everything fell together. Okay, great. He gets this camera. I'm going to film everything for the rest of my life. But then there's stuff that he's not filming. Oh, there's like this ex-girlfriend of another character who also films, you know? So it's like kind of odd that everything
just like,
fell into place
I don't know.
like that.
I've never been the biggest fan of the found footage concept.
Yeah.
Right.
I do think this movie, like, it works well,
It
you know?
did
And, like,
okay.
it does kind of transcend it at points with, like, how many angles there are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like somebody is just following the main character
Yeah,
around.
well, I guess he sort of made it so he can make the camera float and follow
That
him
type
and
of thing
everything
is
else.
interesting. Like, it's almost like a video game then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you just get
Just
into, like,
third person.
Yeah, you get into this like third person type of thing where I guess that is like a good excuse to, like, you know, well, we're just going to actually put the camera here. Like the character can do this.
Yes, and they definitely made that a point of that when they were up on the roof in the city.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
and
exactly.
And they were talking
yeah.
about it. That's what they, you could do that so well. How do you do that? You know, so they made that a point. So now from here on in, you're going to have that third person.
It also,
You know?
like, that scene lends itself kind of to what Uncle Nicky had mentioned before we started. Like, Andrew is more prolific
Yes.
with it. Like, that is a good foreshadowing of that.
I mean, that is just because, like, I feel like he's the only one that realizes, like, what else? Why wouldn't we try to, like, make this go as far as we can, you know? Because, like, it's fucking telekinesis, you know?
Yeah.
But here he was like the most awkward one. But now he has a power, and she's like, I'm seen now.
Yeah.
But you see what I mean? This is almost like a bake rubber movie. Like these guys have like something, and they have to keep it a secret from everybody. You know,
Kinda.
until they don't.
Yeah.
Until it's out in the open. Now we got to run with it.
Yeah.
It's more of just, like, the whole, like, I have a secret type thing.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if the Iron Giant was, like, multiple kids.
Kinda, yeah. It's a good way of putting it.
I have to say, for 2012, some of the special effects were actually pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, like, you can
lot of wire
tell.
work, but yeah.
The wire work is definitely the worst part.
Yeah, I was about to
Mhm.
mention Steve's death is hilarious.
Yeah. The whole thing kind of just feels like a good idea for, like, a short film. Even, like, the whole movie kind of just feels like a short film
Yeah,
at
it's
times.
pretty short.
It was kind of short as it was anyway.
I don't know why, but it reminded me of Super 8, if you guys ever watched it.
A little bit, yeah.
That-
See, it
that
definitely
is-
has
There's a
those
lot of
vibes.
hints of that. And personally, I'm the same way. I don't really like found footage.
Very gimmicky concept.
Yeah.
I do agree, though, that at times it does kind of push the boundaries of it.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, though, like, it's a very low tier thing to be, like, transcending up to, like, maybe another pretty low tier.
Yeah.
my
I do
opinion.
like, though, it started with him, like, using it to, like, protect himself from his
Yeah,
father.
that I understand.
you know.
That was kind of...
And, like, I guess just using it as a shield.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that is, like, very obvious in that one scene in the car with Steve. But
Yeah.
I also liked the portrayal of how the kids, like, used their powers. They would just use it for stupid shit. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, especially, like, the pranks and, like, just using it out in the open like that.
Right.
I feel like you can say they're stupid, but, like, it's realistically stupid. You know, it's not just, like,
I agree.
incompetency in place
Yeah.
of plot.
Yeah, this scene with the car, I could see, like, me and my friends did stupid shit. Like, I remember there was a Volkswagen in a parking lot, and, like, 5 of us picked it up and moved it 3 things over, you know? So, you know, we used to do stupid shit like that. You didn't have phones or anything. Like, kids just hung out
Yeah,
and just
me and
did
my
stupid
5
shit.
Hulk friends picked up a fucking car.
It's a Volkswagen. I remember saying, those things aren't that heavy. We could probably lift that car, jokingly, you know? And the next thing you know, we, like, moved the 3 or 4 things over. Let's turn it around. And then we turned it around, and, you know, we just
You
did
laugh,
stupid
but
shit.
in high school,
It
that
was
was
down
like
by
the
Bay
thing.
Bowling, you know, that's what we did. It's down by the bowling alley.
We took my shop teacher's Honda Civic that was parked on the street. They picked it up, carried it down steps into the courtyard, and left it.
Yeah.
So there's no way he can get it back out unless someone carries it back out.
Oh, God.
So, you know,
It happens.
yeah, it
Cars
was a
used to
big
weigh
goof.
fucking 2 pounds back in the day.
Yeah, they were light. The little Honda,
that's
remember the
fucking
old
funny.
Honda Civics?
Yep.
They were like nothing.
Back to the movie, but I do think this movie is kind of like Cabin in the Woods, where you can definitely enjoy a lot of moments up until like the final act or battle, I guess.
I agree. It definitely,
but like
it's a
the
movie.
final act is just like you can just watch that whole thing easily a few times. You know.
I had forgotten that whole scene where he got burned at the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, that probably could have gone differently. You
Yeah.
know, but you know, he has all these powers. You know, But
So let me ask, what actually turned Andrew bad?
he just had a lot of
He's like-
stuff in
This
him
is
that
past grief that he.
yeah.
Abusive
And I think-
relationship with his dad.
Yeah.
He's kind of an outsider, and
he's
his
definitely an
mom-
awkward teen.
His
I'd say the
mom's very
breaking
sick.
point was after he did the talent show, and he wasn't really ready to like become a popular kid, I guess, and like he didn't perform well, and he fucking vomited on a girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he was a virgin, and then all of a sudden that night after the show, he's brought into a bedroom with a girl.
Well,
and,
he's also
you know,
probably like drunk.
and he was drunk
Yeah.
as well. And I guess if she comes out of the bed, you weirdo, and that, then his mother not being able to get meds because she's really sick. He's trying to get them, and then he just snapped from there.
Yeah, killed like 4 of his classmates for like $20.
Yeah.
I mean, were they even classmates?
I don't know.
No,
They're just
they were
like
just
fucking-
people on the street, neighbors on the street.
Yeah.
You know, bullies is what they were. I didn't really know any of the actors in this except for
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B.
I
Jordan.
know Dane DeHaan.
Yeah.
See, and
He's
I
in-
don't.
he's
You
a
know, I'm even
Green
looking
Goblin.
now, and and then
He's
Michael
the-
Kelly was in it, and
Yeah.
that's only because we know him from.
He's in the best Spider-Man movie of all time, Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Yeah, Dane DeHaan is the Green Gobbler in that movie.
the son of the original.
Is he?
Yeah, because he's not.
Oh, he's Harry.
Norman. Yeah.
He's Harry Osborn.
Yeah.
He wants Spider-Man's blood in that movie, so he can give himself spider aids and get better from the Osborn curse. That's not even a joke.
Yep. The whole theme of the movie where it's just like power and isolation, I'd say it worked well. It's not like anything new really, but like I do like it as just like a character study of that, you know.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that this movie is like very groundbreaking in any way or like ahead of its time like some people seem to kind of put it in that category. I do agree that just for me it's just like a decent analysis of like the really realistic side of like young people getting superpowers,
Yeah.
because I mean that's a pretty prevalent thing in comics. Like the X-Men are all fucking
Yep.
teenagers, you know, in the original books.
I do
so-
think it's better than something like Brightburn, to be honest, where it's just like that movie is like a little bit just like, oh, the kid's just evil, you know? Like it didn't
he
really
was
provide
really
too
dark.
much of a reason. It was
He
just
was
like
really dark. There was
his
never a
power
chance-
was the reason.
Never a chance to
almost.
like him.
Yeah.
You know. So it was kind of like you said. It was like, oh, he's just an evil fuck.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility. You
Yeah.
know, I had.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely a lot of like reflections of like comic tropes just
Yeah.
in this movie and kind of exploring, you know, how far you can push them.
Yeah, we can definitely see, you know, who becomes the superhero, who becomes the evil.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Like
It's
who
more of a
uses it.
super villain movie. It's not
Yeah,
a
It definitely
superhero.
is. Yeah.
You said to me last night, it's a very simple movie, and it very much is.
It
Like,
is.
there's not a lot to it,
No,
really.
yeah.
Like
And that's almost what I like about it.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly lends itself to being this very to the point analysis of realism in the superhero genre.
I watched like an interview with the director, and like he said in the original script he had like a whole like, oh, this is what the thing they saw was and why it gave them powers, and like he just said like, oh wait, none of this fucking matters, you know, it's just like a story about these people, so they wouldn't know, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, I do like how it is like that simple where like it is just about these kids, not about the power itself, you know, and like everything about the power is like subtly implied. He kind of caused that lightning strike. It's just like more powerful than just telekinesis maybe, and like they also had like this weird like linking thing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
whenever
The
one of them
nosebleeds.
did something, the other two would get a nosebleed, and they mentioned that they can kind of hear each
Yeah.
other when that happens.
You know, like how the fuck did Steve find Andrew?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
So it's more of what's inside you determines what the power becomes, as opposed to everyone just having the same power and doing the same thing
Yeah.
with it. You know.
It seems
Maybe.
a little up in the air, honestly.
I feel like it is more of a discovery thing. The personalities like show what you discover, I
Right.
guess. You know.
Well, I guess that would make sense, though. If you're more of a protector and come across a power like
Yeah.
that, you would tend to use it more to protect people. If you're kind of, someone with an edge, you'd be looking to see, well, what else can I destroy? What else can I...
They did seem to have like almost like a set rules to the powers, but it is up in the air, I guess, as far as what Uncle Nicky's saying, like how far you can push it based on,
I mean, yeah,
stuff
like they said,
that.
it's a muscle. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think this movie is like the reason why I really like telekinesis as a power, you know, because like it's just like if you can continually practice it and like make it stronger and stronger,
Right.
you can kind of just use it in place of like every other power, really.
So they weren't telepaths in any way, aside
Not-
from the three of them.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
that's really as far as we saw.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is interesting because, like, you think of like a Jean Grey type of character where she's telekinetic, right?
yeah.
But she's also a telepath.
Yep.
So like, I don't know. Do those powers typically like go hand in hand, or
I don't know. I mean,
not really?
sometimes.
Yeah.
I've never really met one.
Yeah. Let's end that conversation.
Well, no, you got Professor X. I don't think Professor X can move things. But
Yeah.
he can,
Yeah.
he can
I feel like in a Marvel
control people's minds.
in
right?
Marvel comics, at least, that matchup is very rare
The two
because it's also
together.
like fucking extremely overpowered. You know,
Yeah.
that's why they had to make Jean Grey fucking like kind of crazy with the Phoenix
Yeah.
shit. So
That's why they had to kill her for some time.
yeah,
Uh,
and then fucking every other year.
Yep. Every other year since that event. And
should
then
we
they created
skip,
another one.
My least favorite scene is the diner scene. I just felt like just a lot of like stupid, like cheap laughs and like exposition there.
I can agree with that.
My least favorite scene, honestly, was probably the funeral. Just because,
The way it dropped.
yeah.
Yeah, to me, it was just a weird drop as well. And it's very cliche.
It also felt just like, I don't know. It made me feel like the pacing of this movie was just so quick and like really pushed that short film thing into my head.
Yeah.
Would you extend that to when he went to the grave, Andrew?
Yeah.
Because you were saying, oh, this fits all the emotional beats when you were watching it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it
Trying to
did
expose
fit.
you.
It did fit the emotional beats, but it's just like, I don't know. Fucking I feel like Steve died in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's kind of just insane.
My least favorite scene actually was the whole fight, the end,
Mm-hmm.
when he finally kills him. I don't know. It was just a silly fight to me. I didn't like it.
I'm the apex predator.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what he kept saying.
Yeah. I feel like his lines are kind of supposed to be like, oh, this sounds cool if you're a loser, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dane DeHaan's in a movie where he works at GameStop.
I think my favorite scene is probably just that final battle, you know? Like,
Really? I didn't like
with
it.
all the issues, I do still think it is like, this movie does crescendos really well, I think. That amount of like action and everything was fun.
Not
enough.
to cut off you and then James, but I will completely cut you guys off. I know. This movie actually does well enough with... I don't even know what the budget of this movie is, but they can't be like too high.
15 million.
Yeah, so I mean, for $15 million, you know, they're pulling in-
2012.
Box
too.
office was over 126.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
Why
it
the
did
fuck
well.
did they not make a
Yeah, what
sequel?
the fuck?
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, why would?
Yeah, they did well with what they had, for sure, is the point I'm trying to make. So
My favorite scene is when Steve got struck by lightning. It was just hilarious.
Yeah.
I laughed.
I'm going to update my favorite scene to the CCTV footage shot of the one kid going through the building. Fucking hits him with a bus through
Oh.
the building. Just everything goes quiet and you just see him like,
That type of footage was actually pretty cool, but I think
reminded me of Madam
I
Web.
have maybe two favorite scenes, but I'd have to say the parking lot when they were fooling around because it brought me back to that time when we were doing shit like that, you know? So that was my favorite scene. And there was some stuff like, you know, when they were first learning what was going on and, oh my God, we can do this stuff. And they were all together sort of doing things.
I do feel like it tried to
that
get
worked well.
past that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't very important, I guess they thought.
They must have, like, what were the time jumps? Was it a few days?
I mean, it seemed
or-
like they said at one point it was like they had it for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Already, and like that was when they were like doing the Lego shit. So like I don't know, this movie might be fucking 6 months. You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, you're also supposed to believe like these guys developed like a huge friendship.
Mhm.
You know, like well, I guess Andrew and whatever the fuck his cousin's name is are
Matt.
I think I don't even know what the fuck my point was anymore. I'm gonna rate this movie a 5 out of 10. It's okay.
Yeah, I rated it a 6.
You liked it though.
Yeah, I mean, I yeah, there is a lot wrong with it too.
For me, a 5 is dead neutral. A 6 is like it's good.
Yeah,
Anything above that,
I'd
you can-
recommend it still. Like I
Right.
did fucking recommend it to 4 people. So
Was there a scene, something about a mother and a baby, where he saved the mother, the baby? Or...
I don't think so.
I watched this
Wow.
movie at fucking 2 a.m. drunk out of my
I know.
mind. So
I know.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
could have been.
Okay.
You could tell me anything about
I
this
get
movie,
that.
I'd probably believe you.
This movie definitely had that teenage movie thing where there's like an incredible house party that nobody's ever
but that-
experienced in
yeah.
their life, you know?
Yeah.
At some giant palatial
There,
palace.
there are a lot of just like fucking like clearly choreographed or just like rehearsed like things like that. Like
That's how you make
fucking,
a fucking movie.
everybody. No, I'm just saying like when it's obvious, it's very
I
like
know.
bad.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
know.
Even like I noticed when Andrew slammed his dad against the wall and then onto the floor, you could tell that the place that he slammed him onto the floor was like like a raised platform, probably because it was a cushion. You know,
Yeah. This movie is not perfect by any means. It has some interesting elements to it.
I mean, like I didn't dislike watching it 2 times in a week.
Yeah.
So
It's, again, one of those movies that if it's on, I'll catch it. And if it's coming to a scene that I remember and I liked, I'll watch that scene and then I'll probably change.
I'll probably think about it a lot, like this month at least. You know, just like scenes from it and shit. So.
You see, I'm like you. I'd probably say a 5, but I give it a 6 only because of that rewatchability for me.
Right.
I'm going to give it a 4 because of Michael B. Jordan.
You don't like him, huh?
No, I love him.
5, right?
That worked.
That works.
Because we're his mistress.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't know. That was a funny
line.
line.
Yeah.
I did like a lot of the
They
high
had, like,
school
good
humor.
High school jokes, yeah. So shut the fuck up now. All right. All right, that was our review of Chronicle from 2012. V
Great
for
movie.
Vendetta?
Good for me.
V for Vendetta.
Do
I
the-
like that movie.
All right, next week
And I
we'll
like
be...
the actress.
Shut the fuck up.
Next week we'll be watching V for Vendetta in honor of November 5th. I don't know what that means yet. but
Election
we'll
day.
find out.
Voila! Into a humble vaudevillian veteran, cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. This visage, no mere veneer of vanity, is a vestige of the vox populi, now vacant, vanished. However, this valorous visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified, and has vowed to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding and vouchsafing the violently vicious and voracious violation of volition. The only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta, held as a votive not in vain, for the value and veracity of such will one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous. Verily, this vichyssoise of verbiage veers most verbose, so let me simply add that it's my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V.